I got a feeling we gonna talk about clairsentience today. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't even know where that came from or why. Here we are in the middle of this beautiful nature morning, and I feel like my own rendition of I got a feeling. Because today we're talking about clairsentience, which is all about feelings. This intuitive sense, clairsentience means clear feeling, and it's all about having feelings. And these are emotional feelings, and these are physical sensations that we actually feel with our body. So, as I mentioned in the introduction to the chakras and each sense, technically, both the solar plexus, just 3 inches above the stomach, or excuse me, the belly button, 3 inches above the belly button, that yellow chakra center, that center, as well as the sacral chakra, which is located about 3 inches below the belly button and connected to the color orange, so that kind of that frequency of orange. Those two chakras work together to create clairsentience for us. So the solar plexus is really predominantly responsible for those physical sensations. So the coolness of the air, what it feels like if there was a bug to run across my skin, what it feels like to flex my muscles or to grip something in my hands. Those kinds of sensations come through really the solar plexus and are the very physical feeling. And then there's also the emotional feelings, joy and happiness and sadness, betrayal, excitement. Those kinds of emotional experiences and sensations, those are also connected to this intuitive sense of clear feeling. In my workshops that I've been doing on the road, so this is just kind of anecdotal, so this is not a scientific study by any means, but just because I kind of ask people by a show of hands, we go through the senses and we walk through these little exercises, and people will kind of raise their hand when things are firing for them. It's interesting because the clairsentience or the clear feelings are some of the exercises and seem to be the sense that pretty much everybody connects with. So I think it's a little bit more part of our experience. I mean, in everyday life and in everyday culture, we even talk about having a gut instinct or going with my gut feeling. Well, think about it for a second. We talked about the solar plexus and the sacral chakra, and where are they located? 3 inches above and below the belly button. And we talk about our gut instincts. Well, where's our gut? Right around down there. So, even it's very common in our common everyday language, we talk about gut feelings and gut instincts and a hunch. So a lot of that comes from this. I think we're very connected to this sense more than we think. And my job here today and in this work is to just help bring it to our awareness a little bit more, allow us to work with these sensations a little bit more consciously, and open us up to that dimension of spiritual growth and insight and wisdom that can really help us live a more healthy, balanced, and harmonized life, and really just help us live an authentic and soulful expression of who we are out in the world, and to be that authentic, sort of channel for divine love in the way that we are called to be it. Well, the clear feelings, I think, are going to have a really powerful role in doing that. And that's also because feelings, I've come to understand them. I feel like the feelings, for me at least, I'm a very receptive Pisces water sign, so emotions are a thing. Emotions and feelings and sensations really are sort of the language of the soul. It's one of the ways in which that higher intelligence, that soul part of ourself, is communicating with the physical body, and through the physical body to tell us something about the energy that we're interacting with, or the situations that we're in, or the environment that we're in, or the people they're with. These movements, these energy movements that happen at that feeling of that level of sensation and feeling, are communicating something to us about what is from a deep energetic level, from a deep subtle body level, from a level of like the soul or spirit, at least in the way I've come to experience it. So let's dive into it. Let's walk you through a little bit of exercise and some calisthenics for your clear feelings or your clairsentience. So wherever you are now, go ahead and close your eyes and just kind of take 3 big energy clearing breaths to set yourself to energy neutral. Do one more time, a big deep breath in. Filling yourself up with golden white light, and then exhale. Just kind of rinse everything off and just settle into an energy neutral space. And just slowly draw your awareness to about 3 inches above your belly button and begin to draw your breath into that energy center. And as you inhale, you can imagine breathing in a yellow light. And when you exhale, you can imagine kind of charging up, energizing, and activating the solar plexus. And just really become aware of the sensations in that solar plexus area, in your stomach. Become aware of the sensations in your torso, the awareness of the body as you draw the breath in and out. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale, release, and then slowly drop that awareness to about 3 inches below the belly button. Connect with the sacral chakra. And as you draw in the breath, just begin to feel and sense and activate that sacral chakra area. Really becoming attuned to and awakened to the subtle sensations of this area. And once you've got your awareness settled in to the sacral and solar plexus chakra, let's go ahead and ask the body to help us recall what it feels like when we hug somebody we love. What does that feel like, both in a physical sensation and also kind of in an emotional way? Like, what kind of feelings does that elicit? Set that intention and exhale. Really call in what it feels like to hug somebody you really love. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release. Clear that out, and now ask your body to show you what it feels like when you sit next to someone you really don't get along with. Physically, emotionally, what does it feel like to sit next to someone that, not sure I really get along with this person? What does that feel like in our body? Take a big deep breath in. Exhale, release. Let the breath clear that out. Next, call in the feeling in your body, what it feels like when you do something to help someone. What does it feel like to help somebody out? How does that feel emotionally, physically in the body? What does that feel like to help someone? Set that intention on the inhale. Exhale, release, and let it arise. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale, release. Ask the body to remind you what it feels like when you've done harm to someone. What's that feel like when you've done harm to someone? This could be intentional or unintentional, but just what does it feel like when you've hurt somebody? Physically call in what that sensation is, what it feels like. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale, release. Clearing that out. Now next, Colin, what does it feel like when you've been lied to or someone has betrayed your trust? Call in what that feeling and sensation is like in your body. What does it feel like when someone has betrayed your trust or lied to you? Take a big deep breath in. Exhale, release this out. Next, call in what it feels like when you've done something you're really proud of. Something you really take a lot of pride and joy in. What does it feel like to take a lot of pride and joy in something? Call that into your body. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale, release. Now ask your higher self, ask the loving awareness of the Creator, is there any emotion that I need to be aware of today for my highest spiritual good? You can also frame that, is there any feeling that I need to be made aware of today for my highest good? And just check out what your body, how it responds. Here we go. Take 3 big energy clearing breaths in. Deep breath in. Exhale, release. Take another one. Big deep breath in, filling yourself up with golden white light. Exhale, release. One more time. Big deep breath in. Exhale, release. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Open up to these outward senses once again. So literally, how did that feel? Pretty interesting, huh? It's kind of fascinating when I got to that last question for myself. It was this feeling of centeredness and balance, like right in my core, which felt really good. I feel like sometimes for me personally, I can feel myself kind of pinging back and forth between my physical body because I'm a very physical person. So some of you might relate to this. I used to be a personal trainer. I was an athlete. I mean, I guess technically I'm still an athlete. I'm athletic, but I don't play sports anymore. But if you're a dancer or an athlete, someone who really is connected to their physical body, and maybe you actually do physical training, and you're very in tune with the body. Maybe you're a physical therapist, some sort of a body healer. And so you're very attuned to that physical dimension of our experience. This is probably going to be like a really strong sense for you. It's a very good chance you're very connected to this. So it's good to bring it to your awareness. So sometimes I feel myself very in that part, very much in the physical. And then there's this other part, right, of kind of opening up, my mind and meditation, and opening it up to the spiritual dimensions of consciousness and the higher awareness of myself and the loving intelligence within and all around me. And so sometimes it feels like there's this little ping-pong back and forth between those two different, it's almost that dueling aspect of self. But then, like when I got right into here, it was like, be grounded and centered here, be balanced. So just a little reflection on how that experience came up for me. Let me know how those exercises, kind of panned out for you. I purposely chose the little exercises and the prompts that I did because I felt like it kind of helped. It was kind of swinging from one polarity to the next, right? And I know that might be a little bit extreme, but also it helps us kind of calibrate, like what does it feel like when we help someone? And then the antithesis of that is when we harm someone. Of course, these feelings and kind of our daily experiences can land on a spectrum somewhere between those extremes, but it's important, I think, to just wanted to kind of go through that and attune us a little to some of these different sensations. Same thing with, when you're sitting next to someone that maybe you don't get along with, and then somebody you really love. Again, kind of polarizing emotions, but an interesting thing to calibrate ourselves to. And also doing something that we're really proud of was something that I wanted to kind of tune us into, because at the end of the day, some of these feelings that we just experienced in this little exercise today, they can be little indicators to us when we're moving through the world on a daily basis. We might, somebody might propose, a set of plans. We might meet someone somewhere and engage in a conversation. And actually some of these sensations might come in, we might get that sensation of like, oh my gosh, this kind of feels like what it's like when I hug somebody that I love, because we've tuned ourselves to that. Well, that's just some information to consider, there's something there. It's up to us to investigate that further, but that's one of those things, like that's one of the ways in which our intuition and our feelings are talking to us. And if we're conscious of it and we can identify, I just met this person, but they're, they said all the right things, they were smiley, but just something didn't quite feel right. I kind of had that feeling of like, when I did that exercise, it was like when I'm sitting next to someone that I don't get along with. Well, maybe there's something there. I'm not telling you what to do with that information, but I like to consider our intuition and the information that comes in as just more information to help inform us and help us make more conscious choices, so that we're not glazing over it. We're not glazing over that feeling of, wow, this feels like when that exercise, when I said it feels like when I'm doing harm to someone, and I'm doing this and it's feeling like there's harm here, but I'm just going to blow right past it because, well, that's what we're supposed to do. And capitalism said it's okay, or my boss told me to do that. It's like, it's those kinds of things where we can confront, there's something intuitive inside of us telling us something energetically about what's going on. And it behooves us to just pay attention to that information when it comes in and say, oh, okay, well, what's coming up here? Why is this coming in? Again, it's up to us to do the deeper investigating. Is there something deeply, soulfully, intuitively communicating here? Is there emotional stuff that we have to become more aware of and, work through, maybe conditioning and experiences that are informing the now? All that is up to us. And that's part of this beautiful journey that we're on, is us unpacking that and being more conscious and aware. But I do hope that these exercises today and some of this calibration will help you moving forward, help you realize that your body's talking to you all the time. So be open to it and start to pay attention to when it does bring something up. When you feel something, oh, that feels like joy, that feels like happiness, that feels like fear, that feels like anxiety, that feels like balance, that feels grounded, whatever it is, just start to take note of it. So there's some prompts to engage with throughout the week. One of the things that I share in the book is a really great exercise is to go through and literally in meditation just call up emotions. And it's funny because this for me has its roots in when I got kind of back into acting as an adult. So I was a child actor, and I decided to break out of what felt like I was very locked in my personal training days. So I got back into acting classes, and I wanted to explore that part of myself again and the creative self. And so I started to really play with emotions, and I would use my meditations to actually call in emotions and be like, okay, what does joy feel like? What does anger feel like? What does betrayal feel like? What does skepticism feel like? I mean, I just went through and like picked all those different states and just kind of asked my body to tell me, what does that feel like? And it was funny because even though I was in acting class and that's part of what opened me up to that, this fed my intuitive awareness in a really powerful way. So I share that, in the book as one of the exercises, and there's other prompts to engage with here to help kind of tune you into your feelings and the physical sensations and the emotional sensations in your body. Let's just become more aware of them. There's information there. There's information that's kind of circumventing the mind a lot of times. And when we can bring those feelings to our awareness, we become more deeply in tune to our body. We become more emotionally self-aware, and really that's just such valuable information to have and to work with as people who are waking up and becoming more conscious. So I look forward to seeing your reflections from the prompts in this exercise today, and I look forward to seeing the growth that comes of it. When you're ready, whether you spend a week with this material or a month or whatever, when you're ready, click into the next video. We're going to dive into the next intuitive sense, and I look forward to seeing you there when divine timing is right. I'll see you later.